Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to assemble this fun mosquito applique pattern. So this is the cute googly eye version, but I do want to point out that you'll also get instructions and pattern pieces for an angry-eyed video, or angry-eyed version of the same mosquito, just his eyes are different. He doesn't have the big googly eyes, he's got little angry eyes and angry eyebrows. So here's how to put them together. Okay, this is the video showing how to assemble this mosquito if you are not using a light box. So I've prepared all of my pieces, and that means I have printed my pattern onto, you can trace it, onto paper-backed fusible adhesive. I use Heat and Bond Light for all of my quilts. Fuse it to the back side of your fabric, and then cut the pieces out on the solid lines. The dotted lines that you see inside some of the pieces are placement guides showing you where different applique pieces are going to be placed. So you want to transfer those over to the fabric side of the piece, and you can do that by just holding it up to a window, and those lines will show right through the fabric. And I usually do that marking with chalk. So now we're going to put it together, and I just want to show you, I've got a placement guide for this guy, which does include these long legs that I think are a pretty distinctive part of a mosquito. Those are not going to be appliqued because they need to be long, skinny legs, so they're just going to be stitched on. And there's a separate video that I'm recording that I'll link to in the pattern that shows you how to transfer those lines if you're not comfortable just eyeballing some straight lines. But what I wanted to point out for the placement guide is that they fall about as the same length as the tip of his proboscis, or no, his stinger, we'll call it his stinger, so that you don't need to worry about adding additional space for those. We'll be able to get him fit into this block and not have to worry about the dangly legs because they'll fit between that and that wing, the back part of his body. So, oh, one more other thing. I've got this bug-eyed version that I'm doing here, but there is another version, just a different head option that you can cut out that has, instead of these big buggy eyes, has angry eyes and angry eyebrows. So two different options for him. So this one, because he's floating in the middle of the block and it's the full body, we are not doing the snapshot style that I usually do for my patterns, where we're zoomed way in on the face and the body kind of goes off the block. So we're going to need to do a little bit of adjusting to get everything to fit properly in the block. So I'm going to peel off first his head because we know we want that to be pretty well centered. Let's give that a try to start with, but we may need to make some adjustments. So next up is going to be the round part of his body. And I've transferred, you can see there was a line here. I transferred it to this side. That's where it's going to tuck under his head. It's actually going to tuck under his eyeball. So let's put the eyeballs in next. So I've got two eyeballs, number 8 and number 9. And if you want to reference this placement guide, just print that out or just reference it on the screen for your pattern. But you can see that 8 is the eye that's going to go on the left and 9 is going to go on the right. I'll just leave that here in case we want to look at it again. So let's peel that off. So we've got 8 is going to go here. And we'll play with the spin on that to get the pupils where we want that when we're all done, because you can play around and make him look different directions. But for now, we'll just do your basic looking straight out. Okay, now we're going to tuck this body piece behind the head, or behind the eyeball there. So we're just going to tuck it, and as soon as it covers up that chalk line, we know we've got enough overlap there. And now same thing on the back part of the body. So that's got a marking there that I transferred, and we are going to tuck that behind the middle part of the body. All right, now we've got 2 wings. Now, once I put these wings in, I may need to shift the whole thing down. We'll see. So we're going to put in 1 wing. Same thing, we're going to tuck it until that line is covered up. And same thing on the other wing. Okay, and now I think that that is actually okay where it's placed on here. We're going to have the legs are going to come down to right about here. So I'm happy with that. He's floating up in a little bit more in the top half of the block, but I think that helps give him the illusion that he's flying. So I like that. And I like the way his eyes are pointed, but I just wanted to point out, if you want him to look at maybe another critter that you've got in the neighboring block, you want him to look up or you want him to look over, just turn the eyes until they are looking in the direction that you want him to be looking. Oh, I kind of like that, where it looks like he's looking over his shoulder. Let's play around with that. Keep bumping that. There we go. Now, you know what? This is the cover guy, so I should make him look exactly like the pattern. But I'll play around with that on one of the other ones. Okay, all the lines are covered. Oh, now we need to just put the pupils in. So this is a version that I made in fairly realistic colors, even though the big googly eyes are not at all realistic, but fairly realistic colors. This is for a pond quilt, a pond animals quilt that I'm making. And every pond I've ever been near has had lots of mosquitoes nearby. So there we go. All right, he looks a little partially finished without his legs dangling down, but I think he still would work. So if you don't want to stitch the legs, you can just have a mosquito without those dangly legs. But I'm going to make the legs. So what I'm going to do is take this over to my ironing board, fuse all the pieces in place, just follow the directions on whatever brand of fusible adhesive you're using. And then I'll take it over to my ironing board and I'll do all of the stitching and bring it back and show you the finished mosquito. And I'll also show you two others I made in different colors. Okay, here is one finished mosquito. So this is one of the googly-eyed mosquitoes, and this is the one where I made him exactly as the pattern lays out. That is, I put the pupils exactly where they're shown on the pattern, but you can move these pupils around and make him look at other neighboring blocks, like maybe he's eyeing a horse over here that he wants to go over and sting. If you want to do that, here's what that can look like. So just move those pupils anywhere you want within those googly eyes. So just move the pupils in the direction that you want him to be looking, and that'll look pretty fun. It's really fun, I think, to make your blocks interact with each other by looking at each other. But I promised there's also angry eyes, and here's what those look like. So there's our angry mosquito. So he doesn't have the friendly big googly eyes, and he has angry eyebrows. So that is another option for how you can make your mosquito, depending on how you feel about mosquitoes and the vibe that you want your quilt to give off. So you can get that mosquito pattern with both eye versions at shinyhappyworld.com. I'm Wendy, and I will see you next time.